There's no greater challenge for an entrepreneur than to grow a global brand. There's two main focuses when you're growing a business. One's the brand and one's the community. Why do I travel around and meet people? It's to show gratitude. It's to go to these people and say, well, thank you. But it also allows me to understand who they are and enables me then to tailor my brand and to tailor my products to match my audience.
He has millions of followers on TikTok. He has millions of revenue in watch business, and he started everything in his kitchen. Tim is with us from Hagley West, telling this story about the success he has and the plans for the future. The conversation with Tim Hayden was so interesting behind the cameras. I hope that we throw something in front of the cameras too. Hello, Tim, and welcome to the Change Officer podcast.
Thank you.
The Change Officer podcast is the podcast where we bring people who did some big leaps in their life and big changes, which brought them nothing but good. It will turn out. So we want to bring people who are true change, the change officers. And I think that you are the change general, I would say, because of all the changes that you did in your life. We will talk about. But first, I want to tell you why I brought you to this podcast. I'm a huge consumer of social media. This is my life. This is my work. One of the things that I do is this podcast studios, other companies and so on. I consult some companies and so on. But I also live the life of social media. And maybe some 6 months ago or a year ago, I found a guy sitting in the park and giving away watches, whoever comes to him and says, I love your journey, and so on. But it's okay. I stumble upon so many people that I like on a first go and so on. But the thing that kept me following you all the time, and when I saw you that you are in Dubai, I was really, really into having you here in the podcast. But what kept me following you all the time is your passion, is your energy, and it's your empathy towards people, to each and every customer of who's buying one watch or 10 watches or whoever in any way kind of supports your journey. You cannot, digital media is so true and so emotional, and you are giving your, not giving you, you're just being you in front of the cameras and things. So thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for coming in the Change Officer podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
Tim, do we start by saying that you like traveling a lot? I would say, and and you just mentioned that everywhere you travel, it turns out to be a business trip now when you have your own brand, Hagley West.
Yeah.
You came to Dubai for a vacation, like to rest a little bit, but then what happened?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because a lot of people ask me about what's the work-life balance. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. When you've got your own business, your work is your life. Yeah, and originally this was going to be a 5-day break, watch a bit of cricket, meet up with a few friends, and chill out, because I've got a really busy year ahead of me of traveling all across the States and other places across the world, but predominantly the States. So when I decided to come here, I looked at it and I thought, well, maybe I can do a little bit of work out here as well. Maybe I can do a Find Tim challenge, meet some audience, meet some customers, try and grow the brand out here, get a bit of brand recognition. And then as I decided that, a few of the opportunities came up. I'm doing some work with a charity, the National Autistic Society, and the opportunity came up for me to film with an autistic guy out here that's doing a lot of work for charity. And then the other opportunity came up for me to work with another charity as well, the JP21 Foundation. So in the end, I decided, okay, let's just make it a business trip and have 5 days of work.
But you say it's a work-life balance. So you were working in the corporate world for so many years. And then at some point you said, which doesn't happen very often, I will create the brand of luxury, affordable watches for the people from my kitchen. These were your thoughts.
Yeah.
How this change happens?
Do you know what? It's previously I had my own businesses. So from the age of 30, I was an entrepreneur. I had an IT business, various IT businesses. I was semi-retired in my 40s, living a nice, easy, relaxed life.
Comfort zone.
Yeah, comfortable. Yeah, I just wanted to be with my kids at that stage in my life. But then I just got to a stage and I thought, well, do you know what? I haven't reached my full potential. And there's no greater challenge for an entrepreneur than to grow a global brand. I mean, that's the biggest thing, really.
Yeah.
So I've grown a regional businesses, a national business, but not an international global brand. I thought, can I do it? And the one thing that was really in my mind was, well, I don't want to go through life and get to a certain stage of my life and look back and have any regret and think, can I do it? Because especially with social media, when you see a lot of other brands and you see other stories and you're thinking, could I do that? Could that be me actually heading and fronting up, being the CEO of a global brand? Could I do it? I thought, there's only one way to find out, and that's to go for it.
But you did go for something. You didn't go for IT expansion. You didn't create some product in IT. How come? Is there any passion for watches before you created your?
Didn't even wear a watch.
No.
I didn't wear a watch for, I think the last time I wore a watch was probably about 23. So over 20 years without wearing a watch. And I saw watches as a vehicle. One, IT is really boring. It's a really boring industry, especially at the end I was at. I was with my businesses. So I saw the watches as a vehicle to grow the brands. But then the other side that interested me was the creativity. I always fancied myself as being a creative person. And in IT, there's no way to show that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to design something. I also, the social media was another outlet for creativity. But yeah, this is before social media when I started the business, but I just saw it as one, let's grow a global brand. And two, I could do something creative and design some watches.
Okay, so you're designing watches, but how did you enter that industry? Like you did some researches, you met some people, or how it works? You know, like do you design your watches, or do you give ideas for design of your watches?
Yeah, I just use a pen and paper to design the watches, and I don't know how to use software to do it. I call in somebody else for that. I do my designs on a piece of paper with a pen, and then I call in
concept.
Just concept, and then I call in an IT guy. And I said, okay, we need to make a digital version of this. And then once it's up on the screen, I'm literally, okay, change this, move this, do that, okay. And then once I've got the framework for a watch, I then add color, and I just go through as many variations and different colors as possible to see what works, what doesn't work. I kind of know from knowing my audience what color combinations they like. So I know what are good, I know the blues and the gunmetals and the rose golds and things like that work. And then I go from there, and then I put it then I go to the market to see which ones they like, and then I go into production with them. But yeah, when I first started, it was just a case of, right, I've got this idea, how do I get it to work? I think that's the one thing as well. People ask me, well, how do you start a business, or what do you do? I think the starting of the business isn't the tough bit. That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
The tough bit comes getting up every day. Yeah, getting up every day and doing the same thing over and over and over.
How long? When did you start?
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Long way, but now it's becoming to be what you planned. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we first started, sales was slow, really slow. I mean, I probably went 3 years, 3.5 years without selling many watches at all.
Yeah.
I once went 83 days without selling a single watch.
Wow.
And at that stage, I remember one day I woke up and I came down and sales were so slow, I'd even forgotten I had a watch company. I remember sitting in the kitchen and went, hang on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got a watch company. What's going on? And I looked at it and I thought, geez, nothing's happening. It literally got to that stage.
But I would say that with social media coming into the game with that watch company that you had already really boomed I would say bloomed, but it exploded with social media. I would say.
Yeah.
You have millions of followers now on TikTok and Instagram and other social media networks. But how did this happen? Because, there are courses for people how to reach million followers. There are courses, there are teachers, there are books, there are videos, tutorials, whatever. Did you watch all of those and then become a millionaire when it comes to the viewership and audience?
Well, it's strange. When I first started the business, I didn't have a clue how to grow it. I thought I did, because I thought I was going to grow it through advertising, and I spent all my money in the first 2 months. It was gone. I was broke. And then, well, a straightforward answer is I haven't read a single book, watched a single tutorial on how to grow a social media. Those guys that sell those books on how to grow a social media following are just looking to sell books.
Yeah.
You know, that at the end of the day, they're in business for themselves. They're looking to grow, sell a tutorial. So the way in which to grow a social media audience is to fully understand who you are yourself and become a student of the game. You were saying that you watch social media all the time. Become a student of it. And that's what I did. And it was my youngest son who introduced me to TikTok.
Oh.
And we did a crowdfund at the end of 2019 because I needed money. And I was fortunate enough to break the world record for my industry in crowdfunding at the end of 2019. So then I had all this money going into 2020. COVID hit. Oh. And my youngest son wanted me to do this dance with him on a platform called TikTok. He said, Dad, do this, stand next to me, do this dance. And so I did a dance with him. My first ever TikTok was me dancing with my son. Don't look for it because I've deleted it.
Oh.
I've deleted that one.
I just wanted to ask.
You're not going to see it. And then he showed me how to do it. And then I watched it and I just couldn't believe it. I thought the organic reach on this, I've got to learn how to do it. I was on Instagram before. I probably had 6,000 followers on Instagram. That was it. No Facebook. And then I just looked and I just researched and I just watched and watched and watched. And I thought, right, what can I do? What's my move? Who am I? The one thing about the platform, and something we spoke about a little bit just before we went on air, was transparency. And I thought, God, if I can just be myself and just put over my story, can I make it interesting? Can I put it over in a way that's going to be engaging? And I put up my first post and it got 500,000 views.
Oh.
And I instantly got about 12,000 followers. And I couldn't believe it. I'd never had anything do anything near that. And I thought, I think I'm onto something here. I thought, right. Then I put into place the most important stages for any business, and that's persistency, consistency, and patience. And I just kept going. I just kept going every day.
Every day, and now you have more than 1 million followers on TikTok and 500,000 on the Instagram, which is even more engaging. TikTok is more for the reach, and Instagram is more engaging. But you said you know your audience and you know what they would like about watches and stuff. What do you think the importance of having the community? Because your community is very active on social media.
Yeah.
They brag about their Hagley West watches. Who bought what? Who wants to buy this one? Oh, this one is new. Whatever. So do you listen to your community? Do you interact with them? Even, let's say, offline when you're not in live or anything else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's one of the things as well that people fall short on in e-commerce. I think a lot of people want to start a business and want to sit at home. They put something up on the internet and they think it's going to sell. We run a few ads on Google or Facebook or Instagram and they think, right, that's going to sell. There's two main focuses when you're growing a business. One's the brand and one's a community. Those are the two things we face. Those are the two things I focus on. I look at, there's my audience, there's the product. I focus on the bridge, the invisible bridge that links them. And that's the brand, and that's emotional attachment. One of the things you mentioned also just off air before we started was the Define Team challenges. And why do I do it? Why do I travel around and meet people? Well, it's to show gratitude. It's to go to these people and say, well, thank you. Because people and every business should thank their audience because they're keeping a roof over your head. They're putting food on my plate. They're paying for my kids' education and clothing and everything else. So I'm very, very grateful for every single person that comes up to me. But what it does is not only do I get the opportunity to be grateful and to thank people, but to I look them in the eye, I shake their hand. These are the people that are building my business. You've got to go out and meet them. But it also allows me to understand who they are. How they dress, what age are they, where they come from, what they like, what don't they like, what kind of people am I dealing with here? So it enables me then to tailor my brand and to tailor my products to match my audience. And then the other important thing it does is that it promotes word of mouth. As a business, I'm just thinking the number one way to grow a business is word of mouth. Yes. So I got to think to myself, how do I engage that? How do I encourage people to talk about Hagley West? Instead of just saying, yes, I've got a new watch, they say, oh, I've got this watch. Oh, have you seen this guy on TikTok? Have you seen him on Facebook? Yeah. He's amazing. He's gone here, he's gone there. He's sold his house to build his business. He's building out of his kitchen. He's going here, he's going there. So people are then engaged. And that is so important as well.
No, the community is maybe in the newest era of social media becoming really big. Even Facebook thrives on the communities and groups now more than anything else on the platform itself. But the genuine interest and the genuine empathy and understanding, wanting to understand the audience is rarely seen with the businesses. They said, okay, I'll make a product and this is my product, this is how I like this, whatever. But sometimes they will forget about the audience that they are addressing and so on. And the passion you have in your eyes when you are giving away watches, when you're meeting these people for the first time, it's really something that I think it's the key thing to your amazing success in social media and stuff.
Yeah, it's always amazed me actually. When I first started sort of giving away watches, and giving away value, because that's what business is. It's just how much value can you offer, not how much you can take, it's how much you can offer, how much you can give. And the amount of, I got quite a bit of trolling saying, this guy's just giving away his watches. He gives away more than he sells. How's he doing it? I mean, I even had people close to me saying, how are you doing it? You're just giving away money. And I said, no, I'm giving away value. I'm making memories. You know, I'm connecting with people. And you know, we've probably, I don't know how many thousands, we've probably given away about 1,000, maybe 2,000 watches. I don't know. I don't keep count of that. I just look at, you know, what's coming in at the back end. How's the business running? Is it growing? Yes, it's growing. It's the more I give, the more I get.
Of course.
And if you give without without expectation of anything in return, give without any, and that's actually, if I can get this out correctly, you give without expectation of return, you will then get loads back, loads.
No, you cannot, like, you know, like usually they say, you know, on traditional media, TV or something like that, you're detached from that. You know, it's an entertainment for the family, whatever, but you're detached. On social media, this is your device. This is the device. You know, like you have to be genuine, you have to be honest, transparent, as you say. And that's what people recognize. Yeah. You know, like you were here in Dubai, and then you were not giving. You were doing live, but you were not giving away the watch. But some lady came and you gave her the Michelle, yeah. And Michelle, you see, you know the names. Come on, you know.
She was lovely.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'm a bit of a softie when it comes to things like that. When people come up and they're really genuine and nice, it sort of warms my heart.
Yeah.
And the thing with Love Your Journey as the brand, because that's the motto of my brand. So Hagley West is the brand, and the motto is Love Your Journey. Just like, I guess, just do it, or you know, for you know, just do it for
do
like
what you love. Do what you love. Yeah.
So this is Love Your Journey. It means a lot to me because, and it connects with people because it means something different to everybody. You know, to love their journey. It inspires them in some way, and everyone's got their own journey. You know, no matter what that journey is, it could be, I don't know, geographical, but it could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be health, it could be family, it could be love, it could be a career, sporting, your journey. Everyone's got their own journey, and everybody's had to overcome things because life is tough. And we're all still here, so we're all still winners. We've all got through that journey. We're still going through a journey. So when people come up to me, you know, they feel this connection through Love Your Journey. And so when someone comes up, they go, oh my gosh, you know, I have people coming up to me who are cancer survivors. I have people coming up to me that have problems with relationships. They've got through it. And they come to me and they just cry. It's just like, it's like an emotional outpouring because Love Your Journey has meant something to them, or it's kept them going. You know, it's like, oh my God, you know, as tough as this is, I still need to go on. So, that lady, when she came out to me, Michelle, she's the first person to find me here in Dubai, first person in the Middle East. And she was like, so I gave her a watch. Yeah, I gave her a watch. It's because, again, she was one of those people. She didn't expect a watch. She didn't get,
Yeah.
she didn't come there for a watch. She just came there to meet me and say, love your journey and have a hug.
No, that is the thing. Understanding your audience, respecting your audience. You know, the biggest company in the world, one of the biggest companies in the world, Amazon. Their motto is to become a most customer-centric company in the world. They're not talking about fastest shipment. They're not talking about best products. They're not talking about this and that. Best customer-centric company in the world. And of course, that's at scale. That's something that happened 20, 30 years ago. But caring for your community is, I would say, the key to this success. But also caring for yourself. You mentioned in the conversation that you sold your house for this business.
Yeah.
Was it a house that you were living in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. How did you reach the consensus to do that? You know, like.
Well, I did. Let's think of the years. Right, 2017, the business went online. 2018, I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I've got to go full in. And when I first started, I was just doing it part time. It was just something on the side, but I wanted it to grow massively. I kind of went into it naively. I thought, oh, it'll just grow. I'll put some money into the advertising, it's going to grow.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it, to be honest. Then when I understood it, I thought, God, if I'm going to do this, I've got to go all in. I've got to go all in. I've got to put myself in a position where my back's against the wall. The only way out is to wake up every morning and come out fighting every day. So I put myself into a position where I got rid of my safety net in life. I got rid of all my plan Bs. I put all my eggs in one basket, and I thought, right, if this doesn't work, I'm screwed. So it better damn work. I've got to get up every morning and make it work. And it was scary. I mean, it terrified me. And in 2018, I gave up my IT business, and I knew I was going to have no income for probably 2-3 years while I grew the watches. But I wanted to give myself the best possible chance of growing it. I thought, well, if I sell my house, I liquidate my assets, I'll have cash, I had my kids. Yeah. One of my kids is in drama school. That's not cheap. Yeah. I had to pay for that. I didn't want him to miss out on that. I thought, well, if I'm going to take the risk, he shouldn't have to sacrifice anything. I'm going to make the sacrifice. So I moved into a rented house, and I just thought, right, I've got 3 years. I've got 3 years to make this work. I don't have to worry about taking money out of the business. We had money in the business from the crowdfund, so I knew that was okay. And I just gave myself the best possible opportunity to succeed. It's like when I do my posts and I think about what can I do for content? Well, how can I put myself in the best possible position for that content to go viral? Let's put ourselves in the best possible position for the videos to go big, to go massive. How can I put myself in the best position to gain depth with my audience? How can I put myself in the best position to grow in the States? So everything I do is I do big moves to give myself the best possible, to put myself in the best possible situation to grow. And selling the house, I had no choice. It's this or nothing.
Yeah, I always tell people who wants to move to Dubai, Dubai is perfect, but you have to grind for a first year because no matter you have a portfolio in your country or wherever you're from, you need to grind a little bit at the beginning. It's hard. And if you have some safety net, if you have some plan B, as you said, then people retreat and say, okay, I tried, it doesn't work. Whatever. But when you are in the corner, there is no way then forward, and this is exactly what happened to Hagley West watches. But why watches? Why, like you said, you didn't wear a watch before.
Yeah.
Why did you choose watches?
It was somebody else's idea.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. It wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's. I was playing cricket in Menorca, this little island in the Mediterranean, and I was with a friend of mine, and we were rooming together. We'd gone away for the weekend. We were playing cricket. We were rooming, and he had all these books saying these self-help books. Basically, he wanted to be an entrepreneur, and he was quite a bit younger than me, about 16, 17 years younger than me. on the last day of this little cricket tour, I just said to him, "What do you want to do with your life?" And he said, "I want to grow a watch brand." I said, "Okay, tell me about it." And he said, "Well, I want to do this, and she told me. I went away and researched it, and I thought, this is good. This is good. There's such a big market. I didn't realize just how big it was. Like almost 2 billion watches a year gets sold worldwide. 2 billion a year. That's a lot of watches. I only need a little corner of that. I just need a little slice." So it was one of those things as well. A lot of people also say to me, it's a crammed market. It really is. It's saturated. So I never saw a gap in the market. It wasn't one of those things I thought, I see a gap.
Yeah.
It was one of those cases where I thought I saw a saturated market. I thought, how can I squeeze into it? What can I do to make myself different, to stand out? And it's all about the brand. There's nothing else to be invented on the watch. It tells the time. There's nothing else. The designs can be different. Of course, you can do different designs. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. But what we're doing is we're inventing and putting over a completely different type of brand that connects with as many people as possible. So it's the brand that's unique. It's not the watch.
Yes, you're talking about the gaps. The future proved the future from that point when you were thinking about starting the watch company. The future proved that there was a gap, and it is social media, where watches were not represented in a way, because all the traditional watches like Rolex or Longines or Omega or Breitling, whatever, they're on big TV, big screen, big TV, and they're not interested in social media. And that you saw that gap and you jumped right into it. And I would say like one of not so many brands of watches that have million plus followers on social media. Was that the gap?
Well, the gap is purely the brand and the connection with the audience. I mean, but we've seen in the marketplace in watches, you have the luxury top-end watches, which the everyday person can't afford. They can't afford $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for a watch. So I'm all about making everyday watches for everyday people at an everyday price. I want to make it, because the other thing I saw with watches through the research was that most people tell their time from their phone, because the phone time is 100% accurate all the time. You never have to wind it up. You don't have to worry about the battery really, because you're charging it every day. So it gives you the perfect time all the time. So what I saw with watches was that it's now become a fashion accessory. My dad used to have a watch, his whole life, one watch. Because it was his timepiece, he wore it his whole life, just that one watch. It was never a fashion piece, it was a timepiece. So I thought, well, if we go into the fashion end of the business, and I can make good, colourful watches, different fashion pieces, so people can afford to buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these watches, and then they can match that watch with whatever they're wearing. So that's where we saw, that's the end of the market where I'm dealing in. Fashion watches that people compare as a fashion accessory to whatever they're wearing.
Talking about fashion, let's talk about me a little bit.
Absolutely.
No, I'm kidding. No. But as I told you, I was really looking into buying Ugly Vest. And to be very, very honest, I really love your journey. And I really like supporting businesses that understand their audiences. And it's not that I needed a watch, but I wanted to have one, But by talking to me as your crowd from social media, what watch do you think I bought?
Wow. I'm going to go for, I think you went for...
You can ask me some questions if you want it. I don't know.
I think I'm going to go straight in. I think you bought a watch from the LYJ2 range.
Oh my God. Yes.
And I think you went for the black and silver one.
No.
Oh
no, but okay.
Okay. Maybe the gunmetal.
Which one?
The gunmetal, the grey one.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay, I've only got a couple of choices left really. There's a blue one or the aquamarine.
Let's try.
Okay, it's on 50-50 now. The blue one?
Blue one, yeah.
The blue
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because my thought was, like I have several watches which are kind of classic, let's say, watches,
Yes.
or whatever. But with the Hagley West, my idea was, okay, let's do something a little bit off, and the blue one is, I have obviously blue. I like wearing blue. That's my color.
Yeah.
But usually with the blue, you would take a white watch or to change something or brown, whatever. But this blue really was standing out. But love your journey, definitely. Yeah. The size is 45, is it?
I think it's 45. Is it 45 or 46? It's 45 or 46. Off the top of my head, I think it's 45.
So I need a little bit bigger, but love your journey definitely, because this is all we have in life, the journey, is it?
Yeah.
And somehow I really like, because also one thought was, okay, love your journey, that stick to my mind. For me, it's not Hagley West, it's love your journey generally, your brand. But is it, hey team, I love your journey, or you are saying to me, hey, love your journey,
Yeah, I'm saying to you, love your journey.
Yeah. But
it works both ways.
Yeah,
because a lot of people tell me they love my journey.
Exactly.
And I just say, well, and I'm very grateful for that. And I love the fact that people do love my journey. But the whole ethos is that you have to love your journey. Everyone's journey is different. Your journey is completely different to the next guy down the street. So you have to love your journey, and it's very important for that you love your own journey. But yeah, no, I could see straight away that you're now YJ2 person. I went for black because of the shirt you're wearing. That's why I went for that one. But yeah, you'll love that watch. It's a good fun watch. That one.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting it. Okay, then. Are there? You said you don't have any regrets. Like you didn't want to have any regrets.
Yeah.
And this is why you sold your house. This is why you left IT business and went to straight all in for a watch business. But are there any things? Let's not call them failures. Let's call them learnings on that journey.
Every day. Every day. I can't remember a day where something hasn't gone wrong, or there hasn't been a failure. Every day there's something, there's some issue. I mean, life, life is a series of continual issues and problems. And what makes your life good is having the ability to problem solve those issues and problems. That's it. People say to me, what's the key to happiness? Well, the key to happiness is being fulfilled yourself. But the key to happiness, I think happiness is an action. The action is problem solving. If you sit in the problems of life or the issues, you'll have anxiety, you'll have depression, you'll turn to drink, you'll turn to whatever it turns to. But if you have the ability to problem solve, that is what brings happiness. So for me, happiness is an action. You have to take action every day to solve those problems. So yeah, business, failures, things that go wrong. I have had monumental things that have gone wrong. I mean, when we first started, we didn't sell any watches for ages. I mean, in 2019, I turned over £20,000. We're just this financial year, we're going to do just over 3 million. Oh. And the growth has been amazing. But there were so many things I tried that didn't work. Advertising on Google didn't work. Advertising on Facebook, the way I did it. With marketing, there's a funnel system. You have brand awareness, consideration, and then closing. Purchase, And so, what do you put at each level? How do you do that? How do you pull people down that funnel? And you've got to keep trying different things at different stages of that funnel to see what works. Now, what works for us and what works brilliantly is that we can use organic reach for that brand awareness. So it saves me millions and millions of pounds on advertising because I'm getting everything for free. I just have to make sure that I'm paying to put myself in those positions to get the biggest organic reach. So that's why I've come to Dubai. That's why I'm going to sit somewhere and just say, come and find me. You know, I get eyes on me. I create attention. So, failure-wise, I mean, we had a pop-up shop that failed. I had a pop-up shop, and I thought it was going to be so successful. I got there in the morning. I was expecting to see a queue outside this shop. No one turned up. I think we sold 10, maybe 11 watches all day. I had more staff there than customers turn up. The only reason I sold 11, I think, because the last guy came in and bought 4.
Oh.
I literally had 7 or 8 people that came through the door. And then afterwards, I posted a story about its failure on Instagram, and on Instagram and TikTok. And within about 2 hours of me posting the failure, I sold 100 watches online.
Oh my God.
And I thought, gosh, I can have this massive scalability online that you can't have physically in the shop. So instead of getting my customers to come to me on the pop-up shop, I decided to go out to them.
No, that's definitely. But what is the story about your first video? You said you had 500,000 views.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. You just sat down and said, "I will do this on TikTok and Instagram," like, or you progressed as the time was passing.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at other people's content and I thought, well, I don't have a 6-pack. I'm not going to do a dance. I'm not going to sing a song. What can I do? I've got well, the thing I've got is my story, and it was just shortly after breaking the record for the crowdfund, and the crowdfund valued my business at £3.4 million, and I was only turning over 20,000 a year. So it's a huge valuation by the crowd when they funded me. So I posted a story about that, but all I did was I looked into the camera. I videoed myself just looking into the camera for 40 seconds. Then at the end, I turned the camera and I pointed to my kitchen. And then I just wrote text. I put a music over it and I wrote text. And I just told the story in text, and the text kept coming up every 3 seconds, another part of the story. And I posted it, and 500,000 views. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I kept on looking at it, thinking, it's gone to buy another 5,000. It's going to buy 20,000. It's going to buy 30,000. It was incredible.
Yeah, he has sort of that something with my social media too, but the consistency then after that.
Yeah.
That also counts. You said now it's free, but basically you were investing in it since 2020.
Yeah.
2020. So for 3 years you are investing in that, doing that no matter if you have 10 viewers on live or 100 viewers or 1,000 viewers, you're doing it like going to work, like really religiously, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the way I view my business is that it's a social media business. Watches is a product, but it's a social media business. That is the primary, that is the primary goal of the business, is that every day, what are we doing to create content? How am I organized? How am I connecting with my audience? How can I connect with them? So you create content, you see what the response is, you see how it goes, and then you tailor it and you move and you navigate, because every platform has slightly different requirements for the content. You can put out more or less the same content, but you've got to tailor it a little bit for the platform, because you have a slightly different response. So I mean, every day. I mean, now I've got a team of, there's 5 people working for me now on content. Because the whole idea is the business is so big, I don't have time to sit there and edit on my phone. The lives take up a lot of time. They're very time consuming. So I need a team that's going to be creating this content. So that's the aim. That's the main thing this year.
So what do you have in your team? One copywriter, one editor, one.
Well, I have 3 people on videography and editing, and 2 people on social media. So the 2 people on social media are putting out the posts on the Hagley West socials, but they're also coming up with marketing ideas, because I've got loads of other ideas and things that need to be filmed. I just don't have the time to even be there. I can't be present for those. And I have a videographer that follows me around and travels with me, and I have 2 people back in UK. We download and send them content, and they then edit it, because I've got a weekly show goes out on YouTube, which is documenting the growth of the business, documenting the journey. It's called the HW Journey, Hagley West Journey, the HW Journey. Goes out every week on YouTube, and that shows, and I'm hoping people will watch that so they can see what actually needs to be done to grow a business, and also what not to do as well, because I put up my mistakes as well. So that's all on there.
One of the things that people usually do not get about the business is what business are they really in? you remember from the Founder movie,
Yes.
where this guy tells the main character, "Hey, you're not in a hamburger business. You're in a real estate business, actually."
Yeah.
But you said it, I would say, right. You said, "I'm in social media business."
Yeah.
How to stand out, how to create a personal brand, how to fill that gap that was in the industry left, and you said it right. Or as Gary Vee says, every business today is first a media business and then everything else. So telling a story, I think that your social media team will grow. Not social media, but the media team will grow in the future. Yeah.
Oh, hugely. Yeah. I mean, it was just up until October last year, there's me and 2 other people. We're now up to 9.
Oh.
By the end of the year, we'll probably double that again, maybe treble that. It depends how this year goes. Let's get this year done.
But it's interesting that you didn't go to the traditional agency and said, "Oh, I need this. Can you do that for me?" Like, did you try that, or you didn't even try that?
No, I mean, the one thing I have is that I have a really clear vision of what I want, and I need people to execute my vision. But I also need that vision to be questioned. I need it to be enhanced. I need it to be, when I put an idea out on the table, I don't want people just to accept it straight as it is. I want people around me who are going to make it better. I don't want to be surrounded by yes people, because otherwise then you'll end up being like a shopping trolley with a wonky wheel.
Yeah.
You'll be pushing it and you'll just keep veering off in one direction, and you just keep going. Every so often you need someone to kick it back online. So the ideas need to be questioned. They need to be, and most importantly, enhanced. Every idea, and I look at my guys and we put out some content, we do an event, I'll say, okay, great, that's done. How can we make it better next time? Where's the growth?
Yeah.
What can we do 1%? Just 1%. That's all we need. 1%.
Marginally better.
Yeah. Just need an extra 1% next time. What can we do? The Find Tim challenges, what can we do to make them better? How can we put over the content? So we're bringing out a drone now, so it shows our location on the drones. We've been trialing that in the UK. We're going to bring that out. I'm traveling the States for most of the year, so we're going to be just taking the drone and doing it there. We've got another concept idea, which I can't tell you about yet, because we're going to pilot it today. We're going to try. Yeah, we're trialing it today here in Dubai. So that's going to be interesting.
Is it also live or?
It's not going to be on live,
okay.
But it's going to be recording some content, but based around the Find Tim challenge, but a non-live one. We're trialing that today, so that's going to be another new thing we're going for. It might work, it might not, but we're not going to know unless we try it.
A/B testing.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to do it. We'll edit it. We'll put it up, and we'll see what people think. But we'll do probably about 4 or 5 of them before we make a decision whether to put it, because you got to give people the time to get used to a new concept.
Yeah, of course.
So you can't do it once and give up. You've got to do it quite a few times and gather data over a period of time to assess.
It's amazing that you have a team for designing watches, for social media and stuff, and you have the community that is following you, obviously, all around the world.
Yeah.
So you said that your main focus now is US, and you visited 39 states, did you said? Or?
39 states I've done now, yeah. I didn't expect to do that. I just went to America. I thought, well, let's just go to America. And then I saw how the social media worked. I saw how the business was growing. I saw that it's very regionalized social media. So whenever you're in a certain state, they'll promote you to that state. And I thought, gosh, I can go around state to state to state, planting little seeds, just planting the seeds for the business and just saying, hey, I'm Tim, I'm here. And then slowly grow the business that way. So 39 states so far, 11 more to do this year.
More often than not, I'm getting here in Dubai your videos from New York, obviously, because they say that social media has a local, regional, national, and then global reach. If you're interesting enough for a regional, they will push you to regional. If you're filling that cap, they will push you more and more. So obviously the videos from New York work, like they are a little bit more watched than the other ones. I would say,
Yeah, well, I spent a lot of time in New York, so there were a hell of a lot of videos in New York. I mean, I had 3 months I lived out there with my son last year, and then I was there again for virtually the whole of November. So we did a lot of videos there in New York. So that's probably one of the reasons there. But every time I go to a new state, that state becomes the number one buyer of watches. I mean, I went to Alaska, and then while I was in Alaska, we were selling more watches there than in the whole of the UK while I was there. I just blew up in Alaska. Then I went to South Dakota, blew up in South Dakota. Went to North Dakota, blew up there. It's crazy. If people really realize the strength of moving about and posting in different regions and had the patience for it, because when you first get to a new region and you post, it doesn't do very well because you're hitting a new audience and they're going, who the hell is this guy? But if you're there for long enough and you sustain it and you're patient, you will break that algorithm in that area. And that's how you grow the business.
Can you put some numbers into being patient? Like
Sure.
How many posts? How many days? What is the plan for the another 11 states that you have? How long you will stay in those states?
Yeah. Well, what I would do is I'd do a week in each state.
Week in each state.
I do a week in each state to get around them. But the major states, there's 4 major states in the US in population: New York, Florida, Texas, and California.
Yeah.
So I will spend more time in those. I'm going to spend a whole month in Texas in May. I'm going to go back to California, spend another couple of weeks there. I mean, California, the spend with us is huge, but the actual infiltration rate, if you do it spend per capita, it's very low.
Yeah, one of the biggest economies in the world, California.
Yeah, it's 40 million people. I mean, it's a country in itself.
Yeah, of course.
It really is huge.
And Texas also.
Texas, massive. So when we go out to somewhere, I think if you expect to hit a new region immediately, you're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
You've got to be very, very patient, but you've got to be consistent, persistent, and patient. Those are the 3 things. They're the main 3 things. You've got to keep going. If I went to America and expected, okay, I'm going to go to America for 2 weeks, I think I'm going to break it, it's not going to happen. You know, I've been going to America now for 18 months. We've taken America from $10,000 a year turnover to around about 2.2 million a year turnover, and did that in 18 months. So it's huge growth in that time. We're forecast for next year to treble that this year. I'm at the moment applying for a 5-year visa for America so I can stay out there for longer periods of time. And I'll be honest, I mean, I've got 2 kids, and I've got, my youngest is 12. And the reason I'm not permanently in America now is because of my kids. I've got to come back. I've got to see my kids. I can't be away from them for too long.
Of course.
But if I'd been in America in 2023 for the whole 12 months, we'd have probably doubled our turnover.
Oh.
Being there, consistently posting out there, consistently meeting the American audience, I would probably double the turnover.
No, you know how it goes in business. It goes slowly, and then hockey stick. Like this is what everybody's looking for. I think that double will be this year, no matter you're not staying. But one of the things that is usually, something that people do not understand is the persistency, even though, because I remember sometimes somebody asked Gary Vee, my second year and I'm not getting enough traction that I got at the beginning. And then he just asked one question: do you do the same things like you did at the beginning, grinding and every day showing up to work? Because when you have some income, let's say 2 million or 3 million revenue, things change. But for you, I think the ideas doesn't stop to come. And
I mean, the grind is real. I mean,
the grind is real.
Yeah, I mean, I was up until 2 a.m. last night going live because I have to go. I did 3 big lives last night on social media, promoting and selling the watches, because I lost more audiences in the UK and the US, so we've got the time difference. And then I'm up first thing this morning and coming here. We're straight away after this. We're going out. We're doing some more filming, and then I've got to do filming for the charity. Then we're doing a new concept, and then I'll be going live again to 2 a.m. this morning as well. I mean, the whole idea with the business, and Gary Vee says something really good. He said it's you've got to have a short-term hustle and a long-term patience.
Yeah.
And I know that every day I need to hustle and really, really work. Now, things will change as I go along, but at the moment, the way I'm doing the work and the hustle is bringing the money. The more money I bring in, the more opportunity I have. The bigger I can build a team, the more I can do less things, but everything I do on a bigger scale. At the moment, I'm doing many things on a medium scale, and I need to get to the stage where I'm doing less things, but everything I do is much, much bigger and has a bigger impact. So yeah, that's the way in which we're going. I mean, for example, in America, the trip in November, I was there for a month. I did 30 consecutive 16-hour days.
Oh.
And I was beat by the end of it, to be honest. I got back and I had to relax.
But you like to travel, you like to do social media, you like to meet people, you like doing what you do, and I think that you love your journey.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tim, thank you very much for taking your time and being in our podcast. You are really true change general, I would say, not only officer. And I wish you all the best with the watches. And the moment I get my Harley West, I will definitely show off on social media and look forward to much more success.
Good man.
Of you on social media and in business of watches.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Benji.
Thank you.